For my project, I did Genius Hour. I did this project because I did not know what Genius Hour was, and I wanted to do something different. So what is Genius Hour? According to geniushour.com, it is a movement that allows students to explore their own passions and encourages creativity in the classroom. It also provides a choice in what they are learning during a set period of time during the day. And it's not sure where it's originated, but they say that there's two events that have impacted Genius Hour. The first event was Google. Google allows their engineers to spend 20% of their work week on a project that is some interest to them. Google thinks that if they allow their employees to do this, it will increase productivity in the company. And that is a proven fact because 50% of the projects that Google has out there in the world have been created during this 20% of the work week. Some examples of that are Gmail and Google Talk. Another event is based on the book Drive by Daniel Pink, and he says that employees can take a Genius Hour in 60 minutes to work on new ideas or master new skills. So a lot of companies are going this route and allowing their employees to do things that are passionate to them and bring them to the drawing table and maybe have them be part of the company projects. So who is using Genius Hour, or how does it apply to education? So Genius Hour is being used, and it's using the same principles as the corporate world. It's 80% academics and 20% doing Genius Hour. The teachers provide time during their school week, to challenge the students and to create their own project. The students spend several weeks on projects. They do research, they create their projects. The deadlines are limited, meaning that they keep them on a strict deadline or they don't have to because they can go back and fix their project. It's trial and error. And creativity is encouraged throughout the whole Genius Hour process. Students are also finding themselves in the classroom. So if a student's very quiet, they are being more active, talkative, really are involved with this type of project. And it's also teaching students that it's okay to fail. It's like a science lab. You may not get your results correct the first time around, so you have to go back and fix your hypothesis. With Genius Hour, they're allowed to go back and fix their project so it gets better and better. Teach Thought has 6 principles of Genius Hour for the classroom. The first one, like I mentioned, is the 80-20. 80% academics, 20% for Genius Hour, so it works out to be about an hour a week. It's also allowing students to socialize with their peers, teachers, community members, and really establish a sense of work. The next one is creating. It's allowing the students to publish, design, act, or do creative things within that Genius Hour period. It's also establishing an inquiry-based learning and really having the students work and problem solve outside the classroom. It's infusing design, which the kids can design their own projects from their own experiences. So they can take a simple item that's out there that they know of and make it better through Genius Hour. And with Genius Hour, it's giving them a sense of purpose. It's not just some activity that they have to do. They have pride behind it, and it's making them feel important as they're doing it. Teach Thought also says that there's 7 pros for using Genius Hour. The first one says that students are driven, there's no end in sight, that they also take pride in their work and they have some meaning in their work. They want to be successful, so they're going to put more effort into this type of project because they're calling it their own. It can infuse any type of technology that we have out there in the world. So if you want to try some form of new technology, have them do it during Genius Hour. It's having the students use inquiry-based learning and do different sorts of research, and it's not connected to academics in any way. It encourages outside learning, it allows those struggling learners to soar and succeed, and it makes the creative juices flow, and it's not a guessing game with the students. It's up to them. It's not what the teacher wants, it's what the kids want. When there's pros, there's cons. The first one is a direct quote from Teach Thought. Students aren't learning because they want to, but rather because they're told to. They just have the freedom in what they're learning and how. Also, students may feel uneasy because there aren't set assignments. There might not be deadlines. There might not be certain worksheets that are due during Genius Hour. It's basically work at their own pace. The resources that they use may be different from what they use during the day. They may not have to use a textbook. They might have to use a mechanics book or a different science book that they've never seen before. Modeling and connecting is important, but without them it may do some harm. As the teacher, you must modify the role. You can't tell the students what they have to do. You just have to be there as a support and maybe question some of their things, but in a positive way. With Genius Hour, you can't have normal grading, so you're going to have to change your grading system, and all parties involved, parents, teachers, and students, have to know what the changes are. And students might be anxious because they're not sure what you want, or they may not be actively involved because it's something they're not into. So who uses Genius Hour? Many educators across the country use Genius Hour, and here are a few examples. The first one is Queen Anne Elementary School, and this blog's name is Mrs. Hunter, and she uses Genius Hour in her classroom. So she has the students stay focused throughout the whole project by doing a timeline or a planning sheet. And the one here on the right says the resources that they need, people I might connect with, materials I will need. So it really makes them plan out all the parts of their project. And then they kind of fill out a KWL chart about their Genius Hour project with what I know, what I want to know, and how can I find it. And here there are pictures of students being actively engaged in their projects. It's pretty neat to see how involved and how creative these kids can be. And here's another neat thing. She makes her students fill out their goal sheet for the week or for the day of what they want to accomplish or what challenges they faced. The next one is by Chrissy Howe. She uses Genius Hour as well, and she shows the kids different videos. She connects it to the Common Core standards. She also has the pep talk from Kid President, which we all know, to really encourage the kids to do it. So it's really neat to see other teachers or educators use this as well. The last one is Rundy's Room. Her and I are kind of similar because we'd never heard about Genius Hour, and then once we started reading it, we were hooked. And the neat thing with her is that she has the kids figure out what their passion is and put it on the board on a Post-it. And she does that by encouraging them to listen to the Kid President. And here are some of the Post-its, like family is passion for them, working with their dog, dance, going to the zoo, animals. So she uses those passions and she makes the kids form their Genius Hour projects around that. And here are some other resources as well. I will provide a copy of this presentation on my blog so you can access the links and things like that. Or you could just check out my Scoop It curated magazine for all the resources that I used for the project. And the last one is a YouTube video based on Genius Hour. This is what a lot of teachers use to encourage their students. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's over 3 minutes, but if you go to Google or on YouTube and you type in Genius Hour, you can find a lot of resources just on Genius Hour. And here are other sources that I use throughout my presentation and things like that.